In one of London's most prestigious neighborhoods, an elegant woman danced in a crystal chandeliered ballroom. Victoria Sterling, with her flawless makeup and expensive dress, was the picture of a perfect society lady. But no one knew her true purpose. At this exclusive gathering in Mayfair, England's wealthiest businessmen were present. Victoria smiled graciously, conversing and sipping champagne. She appeared to be the perfect gentlewoman, but her eyes were constantly searching for one person: Richard Blackwood. 45 years old, a real estate mogul. From the outside, he looked like a successful businessman, but Victoria knew his true face. He had raped 3 different women. All had been silenced by his money and power. "Mr. Blackwood," Victoria approached elegantly. "Victoria Sterling, from the law firm. It's a great honor to meet you." Richard let his eyes wander over Victoria's body, the typical predator's gaze. "Pleasure is all mine, darling. Perhaps we could discuss some private legal matters." Victoria smiled sweetly. "Of course. I'd be delighted." But Victoria's smile wasn't innocent. Tonight, Richard Blackwood's life would change. And he had no idea. At 23:30, the party ended. Victoria called a taxi and went home. But this was just the beginning. The real Victoria Sterling was about to emerge. At home, she removed her elegant dress. In its place, she put on black, flexible clothing. She wiped off her makeup and tied back her hair. The society lady disappeared, replaced by a professional thief. From her bag, she pulled out special tools: lock-picking sets, silent glass cutters, mini cameras. The fruits of years of training. Victoria Sterling wasn't just a lawyer. She was also London's most skilled thief. But she wasn't an ordinary thief. Victoria only targeted specific people: rapists, wealthy men who harassed women, those who used their power to harm innocent women. At 2 o'clock, she was outside Richard's house in Belgravia. The security system was advanced, but Victoria was more advanced. She silently infiltrated the garden and disabled the alarm system. Finding Richard's safe took 15 minutes. Inside was £50,000 in cash. But Victoria didn't just take the money. She copied files from Richard's computer, emails threatening his victims, bribery records, evidence of dirty dealings. The operation took 45 minutes. Victoria left without a trace. When Richard woke up in the morning, he would find his safe empty. But the real shock would be his dirty secrets leaking onto the internet. Victoria smiled as she returned home. Another rapist had received his punishment. The stolen money would go to women's shelters. Justice was sometimes served outside the law. But there was something Victoria didn't know. At Scotland Yard, a young detective had begun investigating these elegant theft cases. Detective Inspector Raj Patel was on Victoria's trail. And soon, a deadly cat-and-mouse game would begin between hunter and prey. Because sometimes the most dangerous criminals are those who believe they're serving justice. And sometimes the greatest challenge for law enforcement comes not from those who break the law for greed, but from those who break it for righteousness. Victoria Sterling was about to learn that being a vigilante meant being hunted by both criminals and the law. 17 years ago, Victoria Sterling was a completely different girl. 15 years old, innocent, full of dreams. She attended private school with her best friend Sarah Williams. Both were brilliant students, making plans for the future. Sarah was beautiful, intelligent, and cheerful. More shy than Victoria, more sensitive. "I'm going to study law someday," Victoria would say. "You'll work with me too, and we'll fight for justice." Sarah would smile and nod. "You always dream big, Vic, but I just want to be happy." That evening was the school ball. Sarah wore her pink dress, so happy. "Tonight will be perfect," she had whispered to Victoria. At the ball was Marcus Ashford, 18 years old, son of a wealthy businessman. Handsome, charming, but there was something cold in his eyes. He was showing interest in Sarah. "He seems nice," Sarah had said. Victoria felt uncomfortable but couldn't understand why. As the night progressed, Marcus charmed Sarah more and more. He gave her special attention, danced with her, complimented her. Sarah was enchanted. "I think he really likes me," she had told Victoria. "He wants to show me his father's art collection. Isn't that romantic?" Victoria was worried. "Sarah, maybe you should wait. We don't know him well." But Sarah was in love. "Don't worry, Vic. He's a gentleman. What could go wrong?" These were the last words Sarah ever spoke to Victoria. The next morning, Sarah didn't come to school. Her phone wasn't answering. Victoria went to her house in worry. She found Sarah in her room, broken, traumatized, unable to speak. "Sarah, what happened? Tell me." Sarah whispered in a trembling voice. "Marcus, he forced me. I said no, but he didn't stop. He said nobody would believe me. His father is too powerful." Victoria's world collapsed. Her closest friend, the most innocent person, had become a monster's victim. "We have to go to the police, Sarah. We have to report this." Sarah shook her head. "No, you don't understand. His father owns half of London. They'll destroy my family. They'll say I'm lying." Victoria tried to convince Sarah, but Sarah was too scared. Marcus's family was truly powerful. They controlled the media, had connections with politicians. Weeks passed. Sarah got worse and worse. She wasn't going to school, wasn't talking to anyone. Victoria tried to support her, but it wasn't enough. A month later, Sarah's mother called Victoria. "Victoria? Sarah, she's gone." She left a note. She couldn't live with the pain anymore. Victoria ran to the hospital. It was too late. Sarah had taken her own life. The note read, "I'm sorry, Vic. I couldn't be strong like you. Please, don't let him hurt other girls." At the funeral, Victoria stood by Sarah's coffin. Marcus Ashford was there too, putting on a show of fake grief. When Victoria looked at him, she saw a slight smile on Marcus's lips. At that moment, Victoria Sterling died. Someone else was born in her place. Where the justice system had failed, she would become justice. She made a promise at Sarah's grave. "I promise you, Sarah, no other girl will suffer like you did. I'll make sure of it." And that night, Victoria Sterling's transformation began. From elegant society lady to shadow warrior hunting rapists. The pain of losing Sarah didn't destroy Victoria. It forged her into something stronger, something more dangerous. And every predator who thought they were untouchable was about to learn that justice had a new face, a face that smiled sweetly in ballrooms by day and struck like lightning in the darkness of night. After Sarah's funeral, Victoria's life completely changed. She entered law school, but only to learn the system. Her real education was happening elsewhere. During night hours, she learned martial arts, Krav Maga, Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu. She didn't learn to defend herself. She learned to attack. Her body became a weapon. She took lock-picking courses. She studied security systems. She learned theft techniques. But her purpose wasn't ordinary theft. Her purpose was justice. At university, she was the top student. Professors praised her. Victoria Sterling is the future of the legal world. But Victoria's real plans were much darker. After graduation, she started working at London's most prestigious law firm. She was a perfect lawyer, always winning for her clients. But her night job was just beginning. Her first target was Marcus Ashford. He was now 25, working at his father's company. And he was still the same monster. Victoria watched him for months. She discovered Marcus had other victims, at least 5 more women. All had been silenced. Money, threats, power. The Ashford family had used every method. That night, Victoria carried out her first operation. She infiltrated Marcus's flat in Kensington. She stole £75,000 from his safe. But the real treasure was the files on his computer. Recordings of Marcus's conversations with his victims. Messages threatening them. Lists of people his father had bribed. Everything was in Victoria's hands. The next day, the files were anonymously sent to newspapers. The Ashford family's dark secrets headline shook all of London. Marcus was arrested. His father resigned. But for Victoria, this was just the beginning. Sarah's revenge had been taken, but there were other Sarahs, other monster millionaires. Her second target was Lord Hampton, 60 years old, Member of Parliament. He was harassing his young secretaries. Thanks to his powerful connections, nothing ever happened. Victoria infiltrated his house, too. This time, she didn't just steal money. She also exposed recordings from Hampton's hidden cameras. The scandal was huge. Hampton was forced to leave politics. Third target, fourth target. Victoria worked systematically. Each operation was more perfect. She left no traces. She spent the stolen money on women's shelters, rape victims' therapy costs. She made anonymous donations. No one knew where the money came from. The media began calling these incidents the elegant thief case, a mysterious criminal targeting only specific types of wealthy men. The police were helpless. During the day, Victoria was the perfect lawyer. She defended her clients, won in courts. No one knew she took on a different identity at night. But at Scotland Yard, a young detective had begun investigating these cases. Detective Inspector Raj Patel, fresh graduate, ambitious and intelligent. He was starting to notice the small clues Victoria left behind. This isn't an ordinary thief, Raj thought. This person is highly educated, very organized, and they have a specific purpose. What Victoria didn't know was that her greatest challenge was approaching. Because Raj Patel wasn't just an intelligent detective, he was also someone who believed in justice, determined to do what was right. And soon, a deadly cat-and-mouse game would begin between Victoria and Raj. Because sometimes, the line between justice and vengeance becomes blurred. And sometimes, those who hunt monsters must be careful not to become monsters themselves. Victoria Sterling was about to face her greatest test yet. When Detective Inspector Raj Patel began investigating the case, he expected a normal theft series. But what he found was much more complex. Raj was 28 years old, had come from Mumbai to London, and risen quickly through Scotland Yard. Intelligent, detail-oriented, and passionately committed to justice. This case fascinated him. "Look at the pattern, sir," he explained to his superior, Chief Inspector Williams. "All victims are wealthy men with questionable reputations. Sexual assault allegations, harassment cases. This isn't random." Williams nodded. "So what are you saying, Patel? Some vigilante is targeting these men?" "Exactly. And whoever this is, they're highly skilled. No fingerprints, no DNA, no witnesses. This is professional level." Raj examined the victims' files. Marcus Ashford, Lord Hampton, Richard Blackwood. They all had something in common: a history of violence against women. "This thief isn't just stealing money," Raj murmured. "They're stealing justice." The first clue was a small detail Victoria left in the Marcus Ashford case. An unclear shadow on the security camera. A female silhouette. A woman? Raj was surprised. But how? These operations require serious skills. The second clue was found in Lord Hampton's house operation. A very fine hair strand. Laboratory analysis showed it was women's hair. There were traces of expensive shampoo. Upper-class woman, Raj noted. Educated, wealthy background. The third clue was the most important. There was a small error in Richard Blackwood's security system. The system had closed 3.3 seconds late. This showed that whoever disabled the system knew legal procedures. Legal background, Raj whispered. This woman knows the law. Raj began investigating the victims' social circles. Which women had connections to these men? Which lawyers knew about their cases? Victoria Sterling's name came up for the first time in this investigation. She was one of the victim lawyers in the Marcus Ashford case. She had also served as a consultant in the Lord Hampton scandal. Interesting, Raj thought. Victoria Sterling. Let me check her background. Victoria's file was perfect. Brilliant student, successful lawyer, clean record. But Raj noticed something. Victoria's closest friend, Sarah Williams, had committed suicide 17 years ago. And just before Sarah's death, she had a connection with Marcus Ashford. Bingo, Raj whispered. Motive found. But there was no evidence, only suspicion. Raj began watching Victoria. During the day, she was a perfect lawyer. At night, she stayed home. No suspicious behavior. But Raj was patient. One night, he saw Victoria leave her house. At 1:30, dressed in black clothes. He followed her. That night, Victoria had a new target. Sir Edmund Grey, former judge, now retired. In the past, he had dismissed many rape cases. He was rumored to have taken bribes. Raj saw Victoria enter Sir Edmund's house. His heart was beating fast. He had finally caught her. But there was a problem. What Victoria was doing was technically criminal, but morally right. These men were no different from monsters. Raj was in a dilemma. He should do his duty, arrest Victoria. But deep down, he knew she was right. When Victoria completed the operation and came out, Raj was waiting for her. "Good evening, Miss Sterling," he said in a calm voice. Victoria froze. She was caught. But she didn't panic. She maintained her composure. "I think you have me confused with someone else, officer." Raj smiled. "I don't think so. Detective Inspector Raj Patel, Scotland Yard, and you, Miss Sterling, are under arrest." But Victoria's response surprised Raj. "Before you arrest me, detective, let me ask you something. Do you know what Sir Edmund Grey did to those women? Do you know how many rapists he set free?" Raj hesitated. Victoria continued, "I'm not a criminal, detective. I'm what happens when the justice system fails." And at that moment, Raj understood. Catching Victoria Sterling would be easy, but stopping her would be much harder. Raj and Victoria stood face to face. Midnight, in front of Sir Edmund's house. A detective and a vigilante. Both believed in justice, but through different paths. "You're right about Sir Edmund," Raj said slowly. "I've read the files. He did let rapists walk free, but that doesn't give you the right to break the law." Victoria raised her hands, but there was no fear in her eyes, only determination. "The law failed those women, detective. The law failed my best friend, Sarah. When the system doesn't work, someone has to." "Sarah Williams," Raj said. "I know about her. I know about Marcus Ashford. I understand your pain, but—" "Do you?" Victoria's voice hardened. "Do you really understand what it's like to watch your best friend destroy herself because a monster walked free? Do you know what it's like to see justice denied again and again?" Raj remained silent. Victoria continued. "I've saved 17 women in the last 2 years, detective. 17 women who were being blackmailed, threatened, silenced. The money I took from these predators went to rape crisis centers, women's shelters, therapy funds. That's still theft, Miss Sterling. Is it? Or is it returning stolen goods? These men stole those women's dignity, their peace, their lives. I just took back what was never rightfully theirs." Raj was in a dilemma. Legally, Victoria was guilty, but morally, the situation was complex. Come with me to the station, Raj said. We can sort this out properly. Victoria shook her head. You know what will happen if you arrest me. These men have lawyers, connections, power. They'll walk free again, and more women will suffer. At that moment, sounds came from Sir Edmund's house. The old man had woken up, calling the police. Raj had to make a quick decision. Run, he whispered to Victoria. Victoria was surprised. What? I said run. I'll handle Sir Edmund, but this conversation isn't over, Miss Sterling. Victoria hesitated. Why are you letting me go? Raj took a deep breath. Because, sometimes, the law isn't enough. But promise me something. No more solo operations. If you're going to do this, do it right. Victoria understood. Raj wasn't trying to stop her. He was trying to guide her. What are you suggesting, detective? I'm suggesting we work together, unofficially. I provide you with information about cases the system can't handle. You handle them your way, but no unnecessary violence, no innocent victims. Victoria smiled. Are you proposing a partnership, Detective Patel? I'm proposing justice, Miss Sterling. Real justice. The next day, Raj reported the Sir Edmund case as an attempted burglary. Nothing was stolen, only an attempt. The suspect had escaped. But the same day, Sir Edmund's past files were anonymously leaked to the media. Bribery records, dismissed cases, silenced victims. The scandal was huge. Victoria and Raj formed a secret partnership. Raj provided information from within the system, Victoria provided justice from outside the system. Their first joint operation was Dr. Michael Thornton, a psychiatrist working at a private hospital. He was abusing female patients. There were complaints, but no evidence. Raj gave Victoria Thornton's schedule. Victoria infiltrated hospital records, found hidden camera footage. Evidence of Thornton's crimes came to light. This time, they didn't just steal money. Thornton's medical license was revoked. He was fired from the hospital. The victim women found justice. This feels right, Victoria told Raj. We're actually making a difference. Raj nodded. But we have to be careful. If anyone finds out about our arrangement, they won't, Victoria said. We're too good at this. But Victoria was wrong, because someone at Scotland Yard was beginning to notice their movements. Chief Inspector Williams was watching the changes in Raj's behavior. And soon, Victoria and Raj's secret partnership would face its greatest test. Because when you operate outside the law, even for the right reasons, you're always one step away from becoming the very thing you're fighting against. Chapter 6. The Ultimate Test. 600 words. 3 months later, Victoria and Raj's partnership was working perfectly. They had carried out 8 operations, never been caught in any of them. But their biggest target was still waiting. Lord Charles Pemberton. 65 years old, close to the royal family, strong political connections. In the last 20 years, he had abused at least 30 women. All had been silenced. Money, threats, power. He had used every method. He's untouchable, Raj said. Too many connections, too much power. Even if we expose him, nothing will happen. Victoria was determined. Then we make sure something happens. What do you have on him? Raj opened the file. Private island in the Caribbean. Brings young women there under false pretenses. Models, actresses, students. They think they're going to parties. But they become prisoners, Victoria completed. How many women are there now? Intelligence suggests 5, all between 18 to 22. All reported missing by their families. Victoria's blood ran cold. We have to save them, Raj. This isn't just about justice anymore. This is about rescue. But this operation was very dangerous. Pemberton's island had security, weapons. Victoria couldn't go alone. "I'm coming with you," Raj said. "Absolutely not. You're a police officer. If you're caught alone, you'll die, and those women will never be saved." Victoria hesitated. She didn't want to put Raj in danger, but he was right. She needed help for this operation. "Okay," she said finally, "but we do this my way. No police backup, no official involvement. Just us." They flew to the Caribbean. They planned a night operation on Pemberton's Island. Victoria's theft skills, Raj's police training. They were a perfect team. They approached the island by boat. Security was tight, but Victoria's training kicked in. They avoided the guards, infiltrated the main building. They found the women in the basement. 5 young women, scared, traumatized. Victoria tried to calm them. "We're here to help. We're getting you out." But Pemberton caught them. He came with his armed men. "Well, well, what do we have here? A thief and a corrupt cop?" Raj raised his hands. "Lord Pemberton, you're under arrest for kidnapping and sexual assault." Pemberton laughed. "Arrest? You have no authority here, boy. This is my island, my rules." Victoria moved silently. Her combat training kicked in. She neutralized the first security guard, took his weapon. A fight broke out. Raj also used his training. Together, they defeated Pemberton's men. Pemberton tried to escape, but Victoria caught him. "This is for every woman you hurt, you monster." But Victoria didn't kill him. She didn't want to deliver justice with her own hands. Instead, she tied up Pemberton, collected evidence. They rescued the women. They took them all to safety. They sent evidence of Pemberton's crimes to the media. This time, the scandal was huge. Even royal connections couldn't save Pemberton. He was arrested, tried, sentenced to prison. "We did it," Victoria told Raj. "We actually did it." Raj smiled. "Those women are safe now. That's what matters." But when they returned to London, a nasty surprise was waiting. Chief Inspector Williams had investigated Raj's movements. He had discovered his connection with Victoria. "Detective Patel," Williams said in a cold voice, "we need to talk about your extracurricular activities." Raj's heart stopped. They were caught, and this time there was no escape. There was tense silence in Chief Inspector Williams's office. Raj sat across from the desk, Victoria's photographs in front of him. "Explain this to me, Patel," Williams said. "How does a decorated officer end up working with a vigilante thief?" Raj took a deep breath. "Because sometimes the system fails, sir. Sometimes good people have to step outside the law to serve justice." "Justice?" Williams stood up. "You call theft and breaking and entering justice? I call saving innocent women justice, sir. I call stopping rapists and predators justice. The law couldn't touch these men. We could." Williams opened the file. "Marcus Ashford, Lord Hampton, Sir Edmund Grey, Dr. Thornton, Lord Pemberton, all arrested or disgraced after your interventions." "All guilty of crimes they were never punished for," Raj replied. Williams was silent for a long time. Then he said something unexpected. "You know, Patel, I've been a cop for 30 years. I've seen too many guilty men walk free. Too many victims denied justice." Raj was surprised. "Sir? Lord Pemberton case. 5 women saved. 30 years of abuse stopped. The official investigation would have taken years, if it happened at all." Williams looked out the window. "I should arrest you, Patel. I should arrest Miss Sterling too, but sir, but sometimes the badge isn't enough. Sometimes justice needs alternative methods." Raj couldn't believe it. "Are you saying—" "I'm saying I never saw these files. I'm saying Miss Sterling's activities are unconfirmed. And I'm saying you're being transferred to a new unit." "What kind of unit, sir?" Williams smiled. Special Victims Unit. Cases the regular system can't handle. You'll have flexibility in your methods. Raj understood. Williams wasn't stopping them. He was legitimizing them. That evening, Victoria and Raj met by the Thames. Victoria was worried. What did Williams say? Are we in trouble? Quite the opposite, Raj said. We're being promoted. He explained the new situation to Victoria. Now they could work semi-officially. More resources, more information, more protection. So we're legitimate now? Victoria asked. As legitimate as vigilante justice can be, Raj laughed. 6 months later, Victoria and Raj's team had solved 15 major cases. Rapists, human traffickers, child abusers. All had been brought to justice. Victoria was no longer just a thief. She was a justice warrior. With Raj's support, she worked from within and outside the system. One day she visited Sarah's grave. She left flowers on the headstone. I kept my promise, Sarah. No more women will suffer like you did. Justice is being served. The wind rustled the leaves. Victoria felt as if she could hear Sarah's voice. I'm proud of you, Vic. You found a way to heal the world. Victoria smiled. Her trauma hadn't destroyed her. It had strengthened her. Sarah's death hadn't been in vain. That death had saved hundreds of women's lives. Raj came beside her. Ready for the next case? Victoria nodded. Always. Justice never sleeps. And the two walked together. The elegant thief and the righteous detective. Where the system failed, they succeeded. Victoria Sterling's story teaches us this. Sometimes justice is found outside the law, and sometimes the greatest power is turning pain into purpose. Sarah Williams's soul was now at peace. Her best friend had kept her word, and the world had become a slightly safer place thanks to a woman warrior. The lady thief who hunted rapists had finally stolen the most valuable thing of all, the heart of injustice itself.